Imagine you're on a bullet train flying towards the edge of a cliff. You can see the drop getting closer and you can feel the speed picking up. And yet, nobody's pulling the brakes. That's where we are with climate change. We're racing towards a future we're not prepared for, and we still haven't fully hit the brakes. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what climate change is, how it works, and the evidence that proves it's already reshaping our world. Former US President Barack Obama once said, "We are the first generation to feel the effect of climate change and the last generation who can do something about it." And honestly, he wasn't exaggerating. Climate change, which the United Nations defines as long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns, can happen naturally. Volcanoes, changes in the sun, shifts in Earth orbit, those things have always influenced the climate. But the warming we're seeing today, that's us. Burning oil, coal, and gas, releasing greenhouse gases that wrap around Earth and trap heat like a thickening blanket. We're already feeling the effects, but it's not too late to slow down the train yet. Not yet. Let's start with the simplest truth. Humans are responsible for nearly all of the global heating happening right now. Since the late 1800s, Earth's average temperature has risen about 1.37 degrees Celsius, or 2.74 degrees Fahrenheit. And each of the last 4 decades has been hotter than any decade since the 1850s. Now why is that? It's because burning fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases, primarily carbon dioxide, that trap heat. And while the biggest emitters are China, the United States, India, the European Union, Russia, and Indonesia, the people paying the highest price aren't the ones causing the most damage. Island nations, developing countries, and communities with the fewest resources. Those are the ones facing the highest prices. Sea levels are rising, salt water is creeping into freshwater supplies, and droughts are pushing people towards a famine. The people who contributed the least are now suffering the most. Here's the part most people never learn in school. Earth's temperature depends on how much of the sun's energy enters the atmosphere, and how much escapes back into space. When sunlight hits Earth, some is absorbed, warming the surface, some is reflected, which does nothing, and the warmed surface releases infrared radiation, which is heat, back upwards. Greenhouse gases trap some of that heat. That's normal, that's good. Without them, Earth would be a frozen rock. But we've thickened that blanket. CO2 is the main culprit, released by burning fossil fuels and wood. Methane comes from livestock, landfills, and fossil fuel extraction, and nitrous oxide comes from fertilizers. F-gases comes from refrigerants and industrial processes. Then there are aerosols, which are tiny particles that stay suspended in the air. Some reflect sunlight and cool the planet. Some absorb heat and warm it. Black carbon, essentially soot, is especially dangerous. It warms the air and darkens ice, making it melt faster. The short version of that is that we've changed the chemistry of the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is changing our planet. If someone says climate change isn't real, they're ignoring a mountain of data. Here's just a fraction of it. Before the Industrial Revolution, CO2 levels were under 300 parts per million. Today, they're up to 420 parts per million. Earth's average temperature has risen 1.37 degrees Celsius, and the last 7 years have been the warmest ever recorded. The ocean, which stores 90% of the excess heat for our planet, is warming rapidly. Greenland is losing 279 billion tons of ice every year, and Antarctica is losing another 148 billion tons annually. The ocean is also becoming more acidic, up 3% since the Industrial Revolution, because it absorbs 7.2 to 10.8 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide every year. Climate change is not a theory. It's happening in real time. Climate change isn't just about hotter summers. It's about everything else too. Growing seasons are becoming more unpredictable, and livestock are dying in extreme heat, like the thousands of cows lost in Kansas in 2022. Droughts are lasting longer, shrinking harvests and cutting off water supplies. Air quality is worsening, and diseases carried by insects are spreading faster. Finally, storms are going to intensify across the planet. And the economic cost? The United States alone is projected to lose $500 billion per year by the end of the century. That is the price of doing nothing. I hope this video has helped you understand climate change more clearly. Not just what it is, but why it matters and why we can't afford to ignore it. If this video helped you, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, or sharing it. It genuinely helps me reach more people who need to hear this. The effects are already here, but it's not too late to act. We can still slow down the train, if we choose to. For you, for the planet, and for everyone who calls it home. Thank you.